Hi, 18 Cinema Summary here. Today we're going to do a recap of the film The Farm. This horror thriller is about blood-curdling scenes. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The film starts with an SUV driving down an empty country road. Alec is the one driving the vehicle, and he's on a long road trip with his girlfriend, Nora. They are driving deeper and deeper into the countryside. There isn't much around, and Nora thinks that they are not on the right path. That's when she asks Alec to pull up near a diner because she has to pee. They stop next to a roadside restaurant. The restaurant is closed and seems to have been abandoned. Nora decides to go to the back of the building to do her business. As she's walking to the back, she sees a tent. It seems to have been left behind by someone in a hurry. The person also left most of his belongings, including a mobile phone and his driving license behind. She's kind of creeped out by this, and she quickly relieves herself and leaves. As she's walking back, she fails to see a human skull that's sitting in some bushes next to the tent. The couple starts their journey again, and Alec finds out that he's low on gas. That's when they see an old lady standing next to the road. Her car seems to be broken, and Alec tries to get it started using jumper cables. The woman looks at Nora and asks about her ring. Then she starts going on about how people like Nora are irresponsible and incompetent. The lady clearly has some problems, so the couple leaves her there. Nora is already fed up with the countryside and the people there. Meanwhile, Alec is looking for a gas station when he sees another restaurant that seems to be open for customers. They decide to stop for some food and coffee. The restaurant is packed, and the couple orders coffee and burgers. The waitress seems like a nice lady, but a weird guy is sitting at the counter. He keeps staring at the couple, and they finally decide to leave. As they're leaving, the creepy man gets in Nora's face and tells her that she is not safe at that place. The couple leaves, but they are both on edge at this point. Alec is tired from all this driving, and they still have a long way to go. That's when he stops at a gas station on the side of the road. He's filling up the tank while Nora goes inside the station where a strange man named Andrew is working at the counter. Alec asks Andrew if there's a good motel nearby. Andrew chuckles and tells them about some cabins that are along the road near the mountains. The couple pays for the gas and leaves. Alec wants to stop at the cabins because he's tired and doesn't want to fall asleep while driving. On the other hand, Nora is too creeped out, and she doesn't want to stop before home. However, she agrees to check out the cabins. When they reach the parking lot, Alec is happy to see many vehicles parked there. They walk the path to the cabins and enter to see a dining area where leftover food is still on the plates. The dining area is decorated rather old-fashioned, and they go upstairs to find the landlord. On the first floor, the landlord is making up beds inside a room where some luggage is still lying around. He spots the couple and introduces himself. He is a creepy-looking fellow who is very disheveled. The landlord shows them a room and starts up some conversation with Alec. He tells Alec that he has owned the cabins for many decades, and he gets a rather large number of visitors. As he's talking, Nora cuts him out. The guy gets offended and leaves the couple alone. As the night falls, Nora and Alec fall asleep. Then, a man in a sheep mask crawls out from underneath their bed and stares at the couple. The following day, Nora wakes up in a cage, lying in the yard of some buildings. She's shocked, and she starts to cry for help. She picks up a small stone and tries to break the cage lock, but two masked men come there with a cylinder in their hands. They pour some liquid on Nora, and she passes out. Next time, she wakes up to see that she's tied up in a chair. A woman who's also wearing an animal mask injects something in her genitals with a huge syringe. Nora is screaming at this point, but the woman says nothing and leaves. The day passes by, and after some time, the masked men return and silently transport Nora in a cage to a barn. While she's being transported, Nora sees that the place has many people wearing masks and going around doing normal routine chores. The place looks like a large farm with different workers doing their farm duties. She also sees an unclothed man who is tied to a meat hook while a masked man is butchering him. Nora is put in some kind of stables and left there. The masked men go into a shed where many unclothed men are sitting inside cages. Alec is also there, and he sees the masked men hitting two of the caged men with a hammer. He starts screaming, and the masked men knock him out too. Then, the masked men take them to a building where people are butchering these men. He takes some of the severed limbs from that place and brings them to another building. He also buys another guy from some masked man. During all of this, not even a single masked person makes a noise. They are all very silent. Then a bell rings, and one of the masked men goes to meet the landlord of the cabins, who seems to own the farm. The landlord gives directions to the masked man to make food for at least 80 people. He even visits the kitchen, where masked people are using human flesh to make pies and lasagna. Then, he asks for the masked workers to fetch milk from the dairy. The dairy is a place where they extract breast milk from tied-up women. As the masked man goes there, he hears a baby crying. He takes the infant out of the hands of a woman who's tied up in a cage. He weighs the baby and then kills it. At this point, it's clear that the landlord uses this place to farm meat and milk from human victims. The women are crying inside the dairy when Andrew comes there. He talks to a crying woman who screams at him. Andrew loses it, and he stabs the woman with a stick and runs away. Nora, on the other hand, finds a woman in the cell next to hers. The woman tells Nora that this place uses women to get milk. The woman explains how she can't produce milk anymore, so she'll be killed soon. There's another girl there, and she's crying. Her name is Ashley, and Nora tells her that she will get them out of there. Back at the farm, the masked men are looking for Andrew. They catch him while he's feeding leaves to severed human heads. They take him to the landlord, who is getting the feast ready for a wedding. He punishes Andrew by making him do the chores, while he gives orders to the masked men to kill the woman who can't give milk anymore. The masked men enter the stables and tie the woman up. They slice her throat and gut her in front of Nora's eyes. They then take the dead woman's organs and leave. Nora is having a breakdown after watching this brutality when Alec enters the barn. He's clearly hurt, and he takes Nora and runs. The couple runs from one building to the other, but the masked men are everywhere. They eventually hide in a church that also has masks on the walls. As they are hiding, a masked man is praying inside the church. He spots the couple, and they run away. As they're running, Alec's leg is caught in a trap. He can't move anymore, and Nora leaves him and runs. The masked men catch up to Alec and crush his head with a big rock. Nora sees all of this and runs for her life. She reaches the shed where the men are caged. A man there tells her that there's a bus there that she can use to run. He tells her the place where she can find the keys to the bus. The masked men catch up to Nora, and she starts running again. She gets to a car park where another masked man is parking the vehicles of the victims. She hits the man in the head and gets inside the vehicle. It starts moving, but after only a few hundred yards, the car runs out of fuel. Nora decides to run for the bus. She manages to free Ashley, and they both go to the house to get the bus keys. As they get inside the bus and start it, Ashley turns to see many masked men sitting in the bus seats. The film ends with Nora and Ashley staged like roast pigs on a dining table, surrounded by all the masked men. And that wraps up our recap for the movie The Farm. Feel free to drop a comment below as to what we should recap next. Thank you for watching.